Hello everyone, welcome back to Amplify Academy. We are trying to focus on grade 10 polynomials chapter that is beginning this now. And I'm just going to give you what will we be studying in the chapter. What does the textbook contain? What kind of questions comes in the exams? What is something you need to focus more on where you can speed up, and avoid the unnecessary timing of you're putting your time in such topics. Few things. This is a simple chapter to begin with. Okay, this is grade 10 polynomials comes under algebra section. And algebra is a bundle of chapters. Okay, this is polynomials, quadratic equation, linear equation, and an algebra. There are four chapters clubbed together. I'll just make it tell. I'll tell it once again. There's chapter polynomial, and then there is linear equation, there is quadratic equation, and there is arithmetic progression. So this all these chapters are combined together and clubbed in as algebra. Okay, because they all contain the variables part of it, they are clubbed as algebra. And this is pretty important unit you'll be focusing on. Okay, in this chapter, grade 10 polynomials, I'll tell you what is the main picture. So the first part, we're studying something about the graphs. By looking at the graphs, we'll get to know what kind of polynomial we're trying to focus on. And also, if we have graph with values, we'll figure out the zeros of it. We can also find out about polynomials, more information about polynomials, which sometimes they ask you, or other way around. If they give you a polynomial, you have to figure out the graph. So it could be vice versa. Or sometimes they can also ask you to find out the zeros of polynomials, Zeroes, zeros of the polynomial. I'll tell you what is a zeros of the polynomial sometime. But this is the first picture. The graph is where the polynomials start. We understand algebra not only in variables now, but also in graphs. We'll see straight line graphs. We'll see a parabola U-shaped graph, a N-shaped graph, a S-shaped graph, different types of graph, and then we'll come to some conclusions based upon that. A second thing we'll be learning is solving or finding zeros. So finding zeros is something you had done it in your grade 9 also, if you remember. So chapter called polynomials. It was not deleted, that portion was there where you needed to find the zeros. But in that ninth standard level last year, you found was a linear polynomial you had, mostly simpler one, most of it. And there was some small portion, last part was there, where you also had to find polynomial zeros of quadratic polynomial also. And that is continued in grade 10. In grade 10 also, you have the same topic continued, a little bit more complex, the more difficulty and more confusing type of questions will be in front of you. Okay, because you're coming from grade 9 to grade 10 now. So as you also grow, problems also grow. So simultaneously, you have to put more efforts now. So that is second part of this chapter, finding the zeros. Graphs first, then zeros you have to find. And then third part, we'll be learning how do you find the relation. There's a relation you have to remember is the formula for, or I'll just keep it simple for now, verifying the relation. I'll talk about the verification part in some time, but this is about the chapter. So verifying the relation. So you'll be given an equation, you'll have to solve it, get the answers, and then you have to verify whether the answer you got is having the same values in left hand side, right hand side as the question. There's a relation of sum of zeros, part of zeros. We'll substitute the values and just check left hand side, right hand side. That's going to be your third part of chapter. These are pretty much crucial part. This chapter is not huge. It just contains two exercises, but that's not sufficient enough. Okay, but this is how we start anyways. And the last part of this is forming a quadratic polynomial. So we are going to sometimes, when they give us the answer, we will be forming a polynomial. So forming a quadratic polynomial to be precise. Q-U-A-D-I-C. Quadratic. We will be looking what and all ways can we form the polynomial because sometimes the tables turn. So we get equation, we solve it, we get the answer. Sometimes we get the answer, we are trying to form the expression, the equation back again. That is going to be the four important points, important topics we need to cover in this chapter. Very, very crucial. In this chapter, these are the only things you can come across. And the remaining things, apart from this, what you're having is all building blocks. Okay, they're all built. The higher level questions are built upon these basic questions. If you figure out this is what textbook contains. This is what example problem, NCERT example problem contains. So once you're completely aware of these process, then slowly we'll build up and do little higher level questions of difficulty type, exam type, some very high questions of RD Sharma type, MTG type, where we will learn difficult ones. But this remains your solid base. And if you're done with this, only then I would suggest you to move ahead. So this is your grade 10 polynomials. These are the four important points you'll have to cover before you move on to next topic. All right. Thank you for now.